Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why do I think the way I think? Or why do I do what I do? Whose voice is in my head when I hesitate? Or whose beliefs am I living out? Because the truth is, you are not born doubting yourself. You are not born afraid. You are not born drifting. You are programmed by reputation, by fear, by people who meant well but were drifting themselves. And while you are here scrolling, searching, copying, something else is happening behind the scenes. A quiet war, not for your money and not for your body, but for your mind. And the one fighting hardest for it doesn't look like what you expect. Isaiah 14:16 says, "Those who see you will stare at you and ponder over you. Is this the man who made the earth tremble and who shook kingdoms?" Now, the devil doesn't come with horns. He doesn't breathe fire. He doesn't scream. He waits. He whispers. He smiles. You expect chaos, destruction, and pain. You expect war. You expect temptation. But what if his real weapon is not what you think? What if it's not sin, not violence, not even death? What if it's something quieter, something ordinary, something you are used to, something you feel every day without realizing it? The devil's greatest weapon is fear. Not the fear that makes you run, the fear that makes you freeze. The kind of fear that stops you before you even start. The kind of fear that convinces you to wait, to delay, and to settle. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Fear paired with habit, that's the formula. That's the chain. See, you don't have to destroy a man to defeat him. You just have to get him to drift. To drift through the days, to go through the motions, to lose his fire, to live without thinking. Drifting is spiritual suicide in slow motion, and the devil knows it. It doesn't need to attack you. It just needs you to be distracted. It doesn't need to push you. It just needs you to repeat. Repeat the same mornings, the same thoughts, the same lies, the same life. It doesn't destroy. It hypnotizes. It locks your mind into rhythm, habitual thought, autopilot. In school, they teach you to memorize, not to question. At home, they teach you to obey, not to understand. In church, they teach you to fear, not to think. You grow up rehearsing limitations. You rehearse fear. You rehearse doubt. You are programmed before you ever had a chance. So you drift. You hope someone saves you. But here's the trap. The longer you drift, the deeper the rhythm. The deeper the rhythm, the harder it is to wake up. You wake up, but you don't wake up. You rise, but you don't rise. And while you live in routine, your life evaporates. Not all at once, not loudly, quietly, through wasted hours, through excuses, through scrolling, through pretending. Now, Ephesians 5:15 says, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil." Now, the devil's favorite tool is time, because time, when left unmanaged, becomes your enemy. It doesn't rush you, it delays you. It doesn't tell you no, he tells you maybe tomorrow. It doesn't break your dreams, it distracts you from them. And then one day you realize you never made a decision, you never started, and sadly you never lived, because you waited. You waited for clarity, you waited for permission, you waited for confidence, and none of it came. You were just drifting. You were the puppet, and fear was pulling the strings. But some don't drift, some choose. They don't wait for courage, they create it. They don't wait for clarity, they decide. They break the rhythm, they silence the noise, they face the fear, they take back their mind, not with rage, but with responsibility. They understand this truth. You either master your mind or someone else will. Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And if you don't know who owns your thoughts, it's not you. They understand that discipline is not restriction, it's liberation. They rise early. They build routines on purpose. They read, they reflect, they decide, because they know the devil can only use what you don't claim. It can only influence the mind that's passive. But once your mind is directed, once it's locked on a vision, it loses access. A mind with a purpose becomes a fortress. You start asking questions. Why am I here? What do I believe? What do I want? At the moment you ask these questions honestly, the fog starts to clear. You begin to see the fear is not real. The limits were lies. The chains were habits. You see the trap, and then you break it. So ask yourself now, when was the last time you chose your thoughts? When was the last time you broke a pattern? When was the last time you challenged a belief you were taught as a child? When was the last time you sat in silence and listened? Not to the world, not to your phone, but to the part of you that's been whispering, wake up. That whisper, that's not fear. That's not the devil. That's you, the real you. The one that remembers, the one that sees, behold, the rhythm, the one that came here to live, not just survive. It is not evil, it's drifting, it's fear, it's noise, it's habit. But the moment you see it, it loses power, because you can't be hypnotized when you are conscious. You can't be controlled when you have chosen your purpose. So choose it now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when it's convenient, now. Because this moment right here is the one the devil fears most. Not your success, not your prayers, but your decision. Your decision to no longer drift, to no longer give your power away, to think, to choose, to live awake. And once you do that, the devil has no weapon left. Remember, your mind is your soul's battlefield. Win it or lose everything.